South Africa's space exploration is going to a galaxy far, far away. Well, not quite, but they have signed a partnership with the American space program at the agency NASA. Together with the Department of Science and Innovation, the partnership will see the space program play a role in returning humans to the moon. This isn't the first time South Africa has partnered with NASA. In the 1960s, this country played a role with NASA's Apollo missions. Now, Artemis will land the first woman and person of color on the moon. Let's unpack this further. I'm joined now via Zoom by South African National Space Agency's acting CEO, Andiswa Mlisa. Andiswa, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. So this is big news, is it not? South Africa Space Agency partnering with NASA, not just an ordinary partnership, but actually a partnership to return humans to the moon.
Absolutely, Thulasizwe. This is an amazing moment for South Africa. And as you've correctly put out, we've partnered with NASA before 60 years ago for going to the moon, actually, because we're supporting the first mission. And now we're supporting the mission that actually not only returns to the moon, but actually takes the first female of color to the moon. So it is a tremendous moment for the country.
What will be our role exactly, Andiswa? Because if, like me, you've read up and have been following what happened with the Apollo programs, I think the one that we all remember is Apollo 11, which landed, those astronauts on the moon. But the one that was more dramatic was Apollo 13, which ran into some problems. I believe that part of the role that South Africa will play has to do specifically with issues of ensuring constant communication during the missions that will land astronauts on the moon.
Thulasizwe, one of the advantages that we have as a country is the capability of the National Space Agency. And the second one is the geographical advantage that the country has. When we're talking about space missions, in particular communications, we find that weather plays a big role, and where you are positioned within the global context also plays a big role. So our role is to make sure that there is a facility at the ground station, that's what we call it, a ground station that will enable us to communicate with the lunar missions. This will be one of 3 ground stations in the world. We know and we speak about space being a global cooperation. Just like with the first missions to Mars, NASA needed to partner with other countries, and similarly with this, with the Artemis mission, that cooperation continues. And the reason why you need to ensure continuous communication is to support missions so that we do not see or we minimize the failures such as we've seen with Apollo 13.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the other part of it then, Andiswa, is that this has responsibilities on our part, right? We have to do a bit of construction, and time is of the essence, as they say, because as far as I understand, the intention is to have that lunar landing. There'll be various missions between now and 2025, but the actual main one that we are all building up to is in 2025. So what do we need to do on our part to fulfill our part?
So we've made through the support of the Department of Science and Innovation financial investments to make sure that we prepare the ground. Fontein was selected after a study looking at the best position in the country to actually have this site, and that's the suitability analysis landed us at Fontein. You'd imagine that Fontein is in the middle of the Karoo, so there's not enough infrastructure to actually support a project of this size. So one of the things that we'll be bringing to the community is the electrification in the area, as well as the connection to the fiber network. We are building on an existing, or at least connecting to some of the infrastructure that was brought in for the SKA initiative. But now we're bringing it much closer to Fontein and the Lensbeck municipal area. We have about 3 years to put this project together. We're ensuring that there's the connectivity, there's electrification, the necessary buildings that needs to go up as well, and then be ready to actually build the ground station itself. Yeah, it's going to be a huge construction project for the next 3 years.
It's going to be exciting as well. Andiswa Mlisa, I've got to thank you for your time. She's the acting CEO of the South African National Space Agency. It's an exciting time in South Africa, and I do hope the young people get to actually connect to the science that is going to be at play in the coming years in as far as space and lunar exploration is concerned.